All right, y'all. So, all right, what's going on, everybody? Hope your day is still going good. Better than mine. Nah, good day. But I have something I really want to talk about. It's more on the political side, but I think it's something people need to know. And again, this is one of the things I love you guys, because someone asked me this, and I was like, all right, let me put together a video. And I was like, well, how am I was like, I should either record this on the computer or show you guys, but then it got me looking at the market. I was like, what can I show? And then I noticed something, and there's a real crazy, especially as of recently, a correlation between government shutdowns and the stock market, and especially this recent volatility. So I want to go over that. I'm going to explain what a government shutdown is for those of you who don't know it, who have no idea why just in general it's bad for the economy, why it's good, what's the whole point of everybody doing, why is Donald Trump threatening this? And even in context to today, Donald Trump was tweeting and they were going back and forth. He's saying he's going to threaten a government shutdown if there's no deal on building his wall that he's really obsessed with. So it's going to be interesting, but you guys need to know how that affects it, because, well, that's the context of it, of what's happening. So that's why we're discussing it, because come Friday, the 21st, we might see a government shutdown unless Trump gets his wall. So we want to talk about that. Well, I want to talk about that. If you guys are new, before I get into this, why am I talking like this? Subscribe to the channel. We post 5 videos a day. Why do I keep saying we? But yeah, it's the trading fraternity, but I've been posting 5 videos. So it's a bit of, okay, wow. This is just, subscribe, like the videos, stock up. I'm done. Let's just get into this. I need to talk about this. So what's going on with this government shutdown? There's some unique factors. First, we did shut down the government already in January, excuse me, of 2018, and it lasted about 2 days. Before that, the last shutdown was in 2013 under Obama and the Obamacare administration, and that lasted 16 days, which was fairly long. And this is, we're not kind of scared of it, but it has bad implications. So the other thing that's very important about this is that when it did shut down in 2018 in January, that was the first time it's ever shut down. There's been like 33 government shutdowns in history of the United States, but that was the first time it's ever shut down under a fully controlled government. It was all Republicans, and they still shut down. So that's why this is going to be interesting. When I show you the correlation here on the stock market, that makes things even more interesting, because we have a split house now, or that Dems control the house, and now we're coming into this. So let me show you guys what's up on the stock market before we start looking at this, because here it is. Here's the SPY, but let me show you guys. The last government shutdown was January 20th. So the market closed, and it was closed over the weekend, thankfully. But January 19th, let me zoom in on that for you. You see it. Market was up near highs, but then what happened? Closed over the weekend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a week, and then it dumped. It's like they tried to buy it up as much as possible, and this led me to a theory, right? Because again, here's the next part. October 1st is this is where the talks start happening. They already voted earlier to push this vote back, but October 1st is the deadline, or the end of the fiscal calendar for the government. So this is when things end. So then October 1st, there's the market. So timing with these years and with the fiscal budget, I'm like, that's weird that we're seeing, that precedent. And if we go back to 2013, I think in October, I think you get the same thing right before September. But October wasn't too crazy, I think. Oh, wait, no, was it? It was afterwards. So actually literally right after. And that did last October. I think it just has a hangover effect, essentially. And this is what we're going to talk about. So what happens now when the government gets shut down? It's pretty simple. The government, they can't agree on a budget. Well, it's not simple, but they can't agree on the budget, all these people, to fund the government services. That's everything, government employees, all the way down to national parks, all that. So what happens, Social Security, Post Office, if they can't vote on a budget and can't agree on what to spend money, there's like 13 appropriations is what they call it, in like 13 areas they need to approve, then if they don't do that, then what's going to happen is it's going to switch to a pretty much the government stops funding until they can agree on it. So it's set at that, it's frozen at that budget, and then they start cutting essential services, so non-essential services. So that's anything from your national parks, security guards who are contracted by the government. And it's funny, and here's the crazy part, because this is going to affect services, and I thought this had a correlation to the stock market. The FDA. FDA is one of those non-essential services, believe it or not, whereas this could slow down drug approvals, and this can affect now drug companies. Now, there's two things we have to talk about. One, I think the news driving this in general will lead to, you know, a market reaction. I think based on this, if I want to take the bet and we go 3 for 3 on 2018 related to government shutdown, government could shut down, and I think they're just going to drive up the market until the government shuts down. And when I think maybe the government's been keeping the market up, I don't know, but it seems clear this has been drawing a reaction. So it seems that this could be the reason we've had October. We had the China, we had all that, but this is creeping into the mix. This makes more sense because in February, we didn't know, and then we thought it was trade war, but this could be playing a big fact because essentially government shutdowns aren't bad until it's long. And now with the House split, with all this stuff going, and Trump demanding a multi-billion-dollar wall, and just with everything, and he thinks he's going to get impeached, this is getting very, 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 very interesting. And he could now blame it on a split House if the market goes down, but this is risking if it lasts. So pretty much when they cut these services, they're saving money to a degree, but it also costs them money. And even starting those services up, but essentially what it costs the government every week is about every week or 2 weeks, I believe, is $6.4 billion. So while they're shut down. So essentially the government was shut down 16 days in 2013. That was bad. It cost them billions of dollars. Pretty much it costs like 0.2% of your GDP per, per week that it's spent. So essentially, this is going to start affecting the economy if it lasts long. So the crazy scenario in affecting the markets is that the stock market, or that this government shutdown lasts till longer than 2 weeks, and Trump is just really angry. But he seems like he's just been talking a big game with a lot of things, and then when he could get a deal, he's been taking it. He's been throwing down the big options plays. The minute he's throwing $1 million on weekly calls, and then the minute it's up like 100%, 50%, he's taking it. He's like, all right, give me the deal. So that is the one thing. But if he doesn't, and something shifts politically with him and just the whole space, this could be bad. The government and what it means for the economy as it prolongs, that's when the effects get bad, and then pretty much this initial reaction. But I think that's pretty much it. The last part really, I guess, moving forward, you guys are like, how does it move forward from here, is going to be the voting on it. So what they need to do now is, if they don't get this vote on Friday, if they do not vote on do you see my hand? Does that make things easier? If they don't vote on Friday, then I'm laughing at this. No, I'm kidding. But if on Friday they don't get that vote, it's going to go now, and then the government shuts down. And then now what they have to do is they're going to work to pass another vote. They have 3 options. It's either they wait it out until they can agree on a new budget and pass all 13 of those appropriations. 2, they can do what they've done since October or last October, and even since February and since 2013. This is what they always do. They simply go and they're going to make a Jax, shut up. They're going to make a temporary pass, and they're going to say, let's do a temporary pass and vote at it at a later date and deal with it later. And that's what they do. And honestly, I think they might do that again here. That just seems like the best move. And like, I'm going to talk about this too, with the effects this has on the yield curve, both the yield curve and the government spending bill. And beyond this, or the debt ceiling. We're going to talk about that as well. This is connected, so hopefully you're paying attention with this, but most likely with that why this reminded me, because these are the big cases and the big stuff that needs to be solved. They usually just delay it because that buys them time. Again, you see what they're doing with trade war. This is literally politics, and they'll delay it, and you know how the markets move can affect politics too, and it could affect urgency to make a deal or urgency to delay a deal. So take note of that. But there's that, or the third option they pass is a mix of the two. They agree on like half of the appropriations and then agree to vote on the rest at a later date. And I think they did something like that similar, so that could be interesting to see what happens. But that is pretty much it as far as the government shutdown goes. If I left anything out, you have any questions, I'll answer them in the comments, or we can make a follow-up video. Let me know. If you have any other questions, any other news that came out, and I need to put this in another video. I forgot today too, another thing, and you know, I think this is gonna have, you know, effect in the near term, but we also saw that news come out from Google regarding their, the guy, not news, the CEO or CFO, one of those guys was speaking in front of Congress today, and it was pretty bad. And I wanna talk, I'm gonna make a video on that, but just wanted to keep you updated. But yeah, love you guys, subscribe, see you tomorrow morning.